So you found yourself in the midst of the holiday shopping season. You have a little extra cash, let's say about $100. That's a good amount in 2023. And you want to get yourself or someone else a Lego Star Wars set. Lucky for you, I have a few options leading up to the absolute best and my favorite. Get into the first one, which is arguably not everyone's favorite and got a lot of hate on its release, which is 75326 Boba Fett's Throne Room. Really a palace, but it was a very scaled down version of Jabba's palace, and I honestly think that it really trying to capture end credit scene season 2 of The Mandalorian versus trying to make it from Book of Boba Fett. May have kind of heard it here. Now I know Mando is a better show than Book of Boba Fett, but I think it made a lot of its appearance as in recent media from Book of Boba Fett. I think having the AD droid, 2 Gamorrean guards without their fur and whatnot, just their kind of naked stuff. I don't think that you could have made this for $100 and include the Rancor, although that would have been cool. There's so many characters and creatures in here. I think adding some like Aqualish and all the different creatures, adding Black Chrysanthemum and a Bacta tank, and really maybe some Tusken Raiders, or like just make it more from Book of Boba Fett, and I think it may have sold a little bit better. I think also that Boba Fett should have been recolored. I think Lego's had so many opportunities to do that, and they yet again did not do that. They just went, that's close enough. And maybe that was going from console art, it looked a little bit lighter than when it appeared on show. Oh, they went with a darker design, but they got the darker design print on the torso. They just didn't do it on the helmet because they wanted the darker to be the shadow. I think that they should have changed that and updated it. And I've yet to find a custom company that makes just a jetpack and helmet in dark green that matches Boba Fett really nicely. So if any of you know of a company that makes that, let me know in the comment. Put a link, and I definitely want to check it out. Next up is 75304. The helmet. Now, helmets aren't exactly my thing. I'm not a big helmet collector, whether it's Black Series or this. Number one, I don't have a lot of spare money, so I'm only buying the sets that I really enjoy. And helmets to me, number one, they're missing a minifigure. I think that a lot of them would really benefit from having that minifigure. But this is definitely more for the collector crowd. So if you're a collector, you like building a set and putting it on your shelf for your office or whatever, this is the set for you. And Darth Vader, you cannot go wrong with Darth Vader. He's an iconic character that if you're into these helmets, this is a must-have for any helmet collector. And I think it's also leaving at the end of this year. I'm pretty sure it's on that list. But for $80, and I'm sure that you're going to see some pretty good sales as we get into its final year holiday season. I think you should be able to get it for $60 or less. And you gotta check out this next one if you're a fan of Jedi Fallen Order with BD1. Also another set that's leaving at the end of the year. This is a $100 set. You got that $100, you're gonna reach right up to it. Now, unless this goes on sale, which Amazon's been running it for about $80, maybe $90. I think between 80 and 90, and I could see it going for even less than that. But anyway, if you're a fan, you get not only this is how you do buildable characters. Lego's really taking, and they did this with Chewbacca. This was the first one to do it. Really added the minifigure in with the character. I think excellent job here, Lego. Good job. I'm a big fan of Jedi Fallen Order. I haven't played the new one, but I think more of these video game characters, buildable character sets, I think would be welcomed by us, the Lego community. I'd love to see it Calcastus and throw him in with his BD1. I've wanted just to buy the BD1, but I just can't justify $100 for a buildable figure that I'm not going to build. But either way, I applaud Lego for this one. Now, following along in the buildable character line, we have the Child or Grogu. This was released well before we knew his name. Oh, it's 75318 for another $100 set. If you're into the buildable characters, this is a great pickup, and it's not going to be around for too much longer either. Definitely an adorable little build that if you're into that, really into the baby Grogu thing, he's worth the pickup. Now we're going to get into some dioramas here. Dioramas still aren't quite my thing, but I think that they're cool concepts and they're cool ideas, and the ones that come with minifigures are like top notch. But with that being said, we have 75330, which is the Dagobah Jedi Training. The reason that it's kind of lower on the list is that it does have a step where you have to add like 300 and something tiny little translucent 1x1 pieces, and that is just an annoying step. I get why it's in there. You gotta make that swamp water, and that was the best way to do it for pretty cheap to keep your price down, so LEGO could make a decent set for an affordable price. Now it's still $90, so I don't know how affordable it is, but it does come with 3 minifigures, including Yoda, R2, and Luke in his Jedi training. And I don't think we've gotten that Luke since 2003 or 4. I have that X-Wing. That was back when they did the yellow minifigures. Now that, if I remember yellow figures, that tells you how old I'm as old as dirt in LEGO years. All jokes aside though, I do think it's a good set to pick up if you really, especially if you're an original trilogy fan. This is a great classic scene, and I think this piece is very displayable, which is kind of why I really kind of like it. But I go back and forth between this or the next one on the list, which is the trash compactor. Now the trash compactor to me is less displayable, but has more functions and playability, which I kind of like. You can close the trash compactor. It does come with, I think, 6 minifigures. I want to say it's almost less than that, but it might be the same price, $90, might be $80. I can't remember exact price on it, but I've been seeing it for pretty, I want to say like $50. So, and you stick R2 and C3PO, which had new designs. R2 had the first, or had the backprint first on an astromech droid, I think ever for LEGO, or almost ever. And then you got some, C3PO had a new mold here. You had Han and Chewie in Stormtrooper gear. They didn't have helmets though. And Leia and Chewbacca, an all-around great design. Love the Dianoga in there. You can have a gear and try to close the trash compactor. You can build the pipe that helps hold it apart so that they don't all get a lot thinner. I think the fun set to have, but it does look much like a box, so it's not as displayable as Yoda's, but I still go back and forth on it. But I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Which one of these two are better? I need to know down in the comments. We're still thrown back to this year being 40, Return of the Jedi. LEGO did release a couple of dioramas on that, and they are in this $100 price range at $90. We have the Endor Speeder Bike Chase. I think this one was worse than the other one that came out this year. Just the trees are too short, but how do you make big giant redwoods tall in a small diorama? It's almost an impossible feat. But there's some kind of cool, it's just a cool with the speeder bikes can kind of whoosh together. You've got Luke and Leia, and you've got a scout trooper. I almost want like the Ewok traps more than this set, but I think this is still a pretty good set. Now we're getting away from all the dioramas, getting into a Mandalorian Season 3 set of 75348, which is the Mandalorian Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor, where you can fight them together like in the... Oh wait, that didn't actually happen. But you can make believe it did, and you can put your Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor. We're going to take your TIE Interceptor and just put it with your TIE collection because it's an excellent TIE Interceptor. The Fang Fighter though, it is the first design LEGO's ever made of the Fang Fighter, but I think, the movable wings was a big must here, and they kind of missed that a little bit from me. But we did get the Darksaber. This was the first set with the Darksaber, actually, with the new mold for the Darksaber that is more accurate. Still a big hard miss to me. I think you're still putting inside a lightsaber handle. It needed a different handle. With what happened in Season 3, the Darksaber days might be over. But it does have a good collection of minifigures with the Fleet Commander, the Mandalorian, and some Mandalorian set without Grogu in it. I think that's good. I don't need 19 Grogus. But it does have a TIE pilot and an astromech droid. I think this could have benefited from like an Imperial Commando instead of the astromech droid. The Imperial astromech droid really doesn't belong here. Maybe another Mandalorian. I think it needed a different minifig choice here. But we're gonna jump right over to the Obi-Wan series that appeared back in 2022 with a couple sets here. 7336, which is the Inquisitor Transport Site, which was arguably set of the year in 2022. I think it's an excellent set for your $100. I think It is, I think it's been slept on a little bit because of the, how well Obi-Wan series did, but you got so many of the Inquisitors. Your fourth sister was the one that Lego didn't make, but you did get the third sister Reva, you did get the fifth brother. No, you just got the two Inquisitors and Obi-Wan. But still a great set. I think the build was just absolutely flawless, and it beat out just because the minifigures were also pretty excellent here in this set. That came in on third place for me. I got two more sets, being the diorama that came out earlier this year, the Emperor's Throne Room. I think it's just an excellent, hands down set that you can really recreate that scene very nicely. It came with three excellent looking minifigures at $100. Really not bad. It is a little bit pricey for a diorama. You can really recreate any part of that Return of the Jedi scene. I think it just works. And the last set, but not least, is Ahsoka's T6. I'm ranking this the top, and I know it has its issues, like it does not continue the design underneath the plates. I think that it could have benefited from that, but I think the excellent figures coming off the heels of Ahsoka, having some pretty excellent minifigures as well that were absolutely flawless, including Marok, Ahsoka in her brand new live action style, and then you also have Huang and Sabine. Just some really excellent sets. And there you have it. Those are the 11 sets under $100 that you can buy this holiday season. Make sure you drop a comment and tell me which one is your favorite, or which one you're going to be picking up. And I've got another video coming right up for you. You're gonna want to check out. But before you do, make sure you hit that like. Subscribe below if you haven't already.